In America, we have a safety net designed to ensure that if you are too poor to afford a doctor, the government steps in to help. It's called Medicaid, and it is entirely funded by the hard-earned dollars of American taxpayers. But a shocking confrontation at a recent congressional hearing has exposed how that noble mission has been completely hijacked. During a blistering line of questioning, a U.S. Senator put a federal inspector general on the hot seat. Together, they lay bare a massive, systemic racket where individual states are treating federal funds like free money, allowing billions of dollars to be outright stolen, or spent on things that have absolutely nothing to do with medical science. Let's look at how this racket works. To understand how this disaster happened, you have to look at the funding loophole embedded right inside the Obamacare portion of Medicaid. The senator exposed a deeply broken financial equation. For every single dollar a state like California puts up for this program, the federal taxpayer is forced to cough up $9. Think about that incentive structure from the presenter's perspective. When a state government is only on the hook for 10% of the bill, they stop looking at it like taxpayer money. They see it as free cash falling from heaven. Because of this massive federal subsidy, California has allowed thousands of sketchy, so-called social assistants and healthcare providers to pop up overnight. And as the general admitted under oath, many of these providers are simply stealing the money, and it never touches an actual patient. But the outright theft is only half the problem. The other half is how states are legally expanding what they call healthcare just to burn through federal cash. The senator brought a stunning list of items that California's Medicaid program actively pays for using your tax dollars. The general sat there and had to accept the reality of these. Let's speak some truth to power here. Since when did an in-home chef, a gym membership, or a brand new scooter become a medical necessity? The senator even pointed out that California is using these funds to repay student loans. California holds only 12% of the U.S. population, yet over the last decade, they are responsible for half of all these bizarre new healthcare providers. It is an absolute circus, and the federal taxpayer is funding the ticket. When the senator demanded to know why this systemic madness has gone on for so long, the inspector general admitted to a fatal flaw in state-level governance. Because the federal government keeps writing blank checks, state structures have absolutely zero financial incentive to conduct compliance audits or stop the bleeding. They simply watch the money vanish. The general defended his agency by stating that the department has been forced to stand up a brand new, specialized fraud division and deploy U.S. attorneys across the country just to prosecute these cases daily. The fraud is so systematic that it required its own standalone law enforcement structure. The general closed his testimony with a line that tells you everything you need to know about the absurdity of the current system, joking that if you need an exorcism, you can go to California. But to the American taxpayer, this is no laughing matter. This isn't just poor bookkeeping or a state experimenting with social programs. The presenter's perspective is definitive. This is a Tier 1, federally funded slush fund that has been draining billions of dollars out of the pockets of hardworking Americans for years. It is an absolute failure of oversight. If a state wants to fund exorcisms, scooters, and private chefs, they should do it on their own dime, not by exploiting a loophole that forces the rest of the country to pay 90% of the bill. I'm United States Senate Live. We watch the fraud so you don't have to. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next breakdown.